It's Nintendo time! Hello, welcome to another figure review. Today we're going to have a look at the Figma number 583. It's Samus Aran in the Metroid Dread bodysuit version. I've been a big fan of the suits in Metroid and the games, especially like 2D ones, but you know, Dread, it's been a new one. It's been rumored for so long, and we got this new cool outfit for Samus Aran, our favorite bounty hunter. And this one comes also in a slider. If you didn't know, now you know. You have this more prestigious box around it, and then you have your regular Figma box inside of it with the Nintendo seal of approval, giving you a nice look at the character. What can I say about this one? I like it because it's different. You know, usually the Samus Aran outfits, they're like red and obviously gold, and we still have the red, but now tons of blue and white, and I really want to know how well this one fares next to the other Figma releases, so let's get into the review. First impressions, I had a little bit of time to play around with this figure. I think we're in for a treat here, guys. Size of Samus is about 15 centimeters to the top of the head, which means we would go up to pretty much 6 inches, a little shy of it. Size comparisons.
Here's Jalter, YesH Fig Arts Son Goku, NECA Michelangelo, the Figma Hemet Neffel, review coming soon, Figma Doomslayer, and here we have all the different versions from Samus Aran, from Figma. You got the Zero suit, the Various suit, and like, what was it, like Prime Corruption, I think, and Darkseid.
Overall look in detail, I'm gonna start off with the dark red in the top part. Very, very sexy shade of red. We have some metallic over here, and I feel like the visor in there is even more metallic. As you can see, it's just radiating life clashing off of it. But still, it looks very classy in the red department. Classy is a weird way, but I really love this red. I really love how it pops. I don't know how well you can see it under the camera, but it's a very nice color. Then you have the green in there, which is not metallic, but it does stand out. It's supposed to be light, so I think that it's just glossy, does the job. It shouldn't be metallic. And then we have the blue, which is also metallic. The mold on there is great, and as you can tell, there's already some very cool articulation points, which we'll get to in just a second. But let me show you all the good in this figure itself. Got the boosters in the back, the big shoulder pads. As we move over from the metallic on the top part to all the white and the green, which is like a very, very nice matte tone. And really the contrast between these two, it works together oh so well. I think it's beautiful. Again, having the figure in hand, this is one of the best paint jobs I've seen. Just the paint job itself, and also executed very cleanly. There is the tiniest bit of bleeding, I just wanted to focus on that, but it's really not an issue. We have the entire gun up, which has the kind of like a dark brownish, and then the lights are supposed to, it really just pops with the yellow also in the front, which does have a hole, but we do have some accessories for that. But again, a very nice shade of brown and some more metallic on there with a little bit of red. It just looks clean. There's no bleeding, there's no going over the line. It all lines up perfectly, and all the detail in the sculpt obviously as we move down to the hips. Hard crotch piece, weird choice, but I guess soft crotch piece wouldn't have looked so nice. Then move down to the legs, the knees. Got some more black in there for the articulation. Again, tiny bit of bleeding. I don't want to knock on that. It is there. I'm showing you that, but obviously you're not even going to notice it unless you really go in deeply. And down to the boots with some more green and metallic blue. By the way, the figure itself is solid. I don't really have any problems with the articulation except for the feet. The swivels on here are pretty loose, a little bit too loose for my liking. But on that note, let's have a look at this articulation. Now for the articulation, the other day I reviewed the fluted armor from Demon's Souls, and I talked about how the articulation is almost figure arts level, and this one, it's kind of on the same level. So first and foremost, let me start off with the head. Moves back and forth nicely, even though there's barely any gap in there, so that's pretty good. Side to side tilting, yeah, it's just a little bit of wiggling, and to the back, it's fine. I already looked at that, but swivel, go side to side, and as you can tell, the neck moves with it. So that itself is okay, but you can also shift the neck back and forth, and you can bring it forward, you can bring it to the back, and for your shoulder articulation, you have something that's kind of excessive, but it works so well, it's so fun to pose. Now there's a long pack, which I think is on 2 ball joints, but the upper part moves around and the lower part is just, I guess it's blocked, or it might not be a ball joint in there. It's maybe just a swivel, but still, can move that out, can move that to the side, and just get it out of the way any way you like. And then for the shoulder articulation, you have a ball joint that goes on a ball hinge, moves upward beautifully, down, let me get it into the right position, get it down on the hinge, and also the ball moves in there nicely. And you do have a butterfly joint, which we're not used to for Figma, but they did one anyway, and it's nice and molded, so you can bring it all the way forward, no problem there. Can get some good poses with the gun and just fold it back together. Then we have the ball hinge in the elbow, that's classic, and on this side obviously you also have the fist, so you can bring that back and forth, and also can be swiveled. The chest area is also quite nimble, considering that there's not any gaps left, goes forward nicely. Backward movement is a little bit hindered, does tilt side to side, and does go all the way around. Due to the nature of the hips, since this is hard plastic, that's just kind of disappointing. We do have back and forth motion, but I can't really get this part to swivel, and I don't know. It seems like it's kind of stuck in the crotch, but I can't really get anything out of that. For the hip itself, the waist part, you can move this one out just a little bit. Can barely notice it, but you can hear it, I think. Can move the legs down, so we do have a leg articulation that goes up quite nicely. Out to the side is blocked by the sculpt, and to the back is great. Then we also have a swivel in here, moving with this entire piece, just covering it up, which is very nicely done. Double hinged knees on a Figma, and also we do have a thigh swivel just placed slightly over the knee, so you can bring that all the way around and down to the foot, which is again kind of convoluted, but you do have the swivel, and also you do have the toe hinge. And this entire piece, you move it up and this moves out of the way beautifully. Move it back, this moves out of the way beautifully. And you do also have an ankle rocker hidden in there. Again, there's like a lot of flashing parts. You have the hinge, it's connecting, and this entire piece just kind of goes side to side. You do have a rocker. It's not the greatest rocker, but it's still a rocker that's nicely hidden and overall makes for a great looking sculpt. It also articulates quite well. Accessories, you got an interesting assortment of things. First and foremost, you got the Figma base. This is one where you got the big base, where I'm not a big fan of this one. It just takes up too much space, but the rest of it is your standard stuff. Let me get to this piece real quick. This is weird, but also interesting, but also weird. You have a magnet in here, so you can magnetize this to some platform, so she kind of hangs off a platform. Obviously connect the foot, connect the hand. It's cool. It's different, but I don't know what to do with it. I don't really have any area where I can magnetize the figure on it, and I'm also kind of scared to do that, because if it falls down, it's broken.
So I want to try this cool new feature of the wall hanging. This is like the only surface I can really use it on, and... yeah, nice one. I mean, she holds on to it fairly nicely, but this just pops out. Nice magnet, guys.
Then we have the good old morph ball, which looks clean. I just don't like the part where it's connected over there. Why is it like a brighter green on one side? It looks kind of rough just in the middle over here. I don't know what's up with that. Also, there is just a tiny bit of bleeding, but it's a lot less clean than the figure. And I mean, it's again just small issues, but still. Also, you do have a hole, so you can connect it to the base if you want to, and have the morph ball just kind of float around like a giant eye. Then we have hands, but only 2 hands because she only has 1 hand on the suit. An open hand and a kind of grabby hand. That's about it. And also, I talked about it earlier, that there's a hole in the blaster. Yeah, it just kind of looked like in the camera that there's actually a hole from this angle, but there isn't. We don't have a blast effect, which I find kind of weird. Would have been nice, but what is nice is this. Oh my god. The Giga Blast. There's probably a name for that, but I didn't research it now. But I don't care. It looks amazing. is like when she charges up the shot, I'm guessing, if I remember correctly. Metroid, I've played it. But we do have some beautiful blue in there and some more metallic, and I actually love this piece. It's so cool looking, and it's powerful and menacing, and yeah, nice, beautiful piece. And then, that's it. Final thoughts, and I've been gushing over this figure for the last like 10-something minutes, right? I do not have anything bad to say about it, except for a blast effect would have been nice. The wobbly in the feet, and also like the shoulders can get dragged down, especially on the blaster arm. As the more I kind of fiddle around with the figure, the more I notice that this shoulder kind of sags down just a little bit, but as you can tell, it does hold the pose right now. So all of what I just said are small issues, and the rest of it, it's amazing. Oh my god, the paint job is so beautiful. I love the metallic and like the different vibrant, like the more vibrant colors and the more muted colors, and then you get like the glossiness and the non-glossiness, the matte tones and the metallic tones, and it comes together oh so well, and it's so beautiful. I really rarely have that warrior figure where I just hold it in my hand and I go like, wow, I love this. I love the paint on this one, and it's clean. And then we get over to the articulation, which is done very, very well. Once again, almost on figure arts level. They did go the extra mile, because Figma, usually articulation for Figmas is standard. I say that so many times when I review Figma, I go like, well, articulation is pretty much standard for Figma. This one isn't. This one went the extra mile and went above and beyond what they're usually doing, and I think it shines through very well. Again, it's not perfect, but it's a very, very strong release in that regard as well. And finally, the accessories. I'm not too hyped on those, weirdly enough. Again, I wish we had a blast effect, and this just kind of doesn't work. You could say, well, maybe if I have a surface where I can fully put that on, like a bigger surface, maybe then this kind of sticks in because it connects and it kind of pushes against it. Maybe just kind of try to glue this on, I don't know. Honestly, I don't really care for these kind of things. I like that they do something like that because, you know, wall hanging is a feature, and it's a cool idea, but I don't really care for it. That being said, I 100% just love this figure, and I recommend it. That's gonna do it, guys. As usual, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this review, hit it up with a like and subscribe to the channel so you can stay tuned for figure reviews, card game stuff, and whatever Samus Aran wants.